Well, in this video, I will be discussing regarding homotopic curves, fundamental groups, and manifolds. So, homotopic curves and manifolds are very important, and so let's look at the principles behind them. So, you see, consider curves. So, the curve goes from a part of a real line 0, 1 to the manifold M. Another curve also goes like that. I have shown it here. So let's see. So let's call the curve here as delta of lambda, which is this curve above here, and the curve below here as gamma of lambda, which is this curve which is I have drawn, and this is this curve, which are the boldly drawn curves. Now these curves are called homotopic if they can, intuitively speaking, continuously be deformed to one another. And the moment this definition comes up, if you have seen Lagrangian mechanics or the Lagrange or the action principle, where the action takes the minima and you get the Euler-Lagrange equation, the exact deformation along the path of least action is this homotopic deformation that we talk about. So what is this homotopic deviation? It is just that there exists a curve which now takes two parameter values, such that when the parameter value is 0, it runs along gamma, the lower curve, and when the parameter value is 1, it runs along the upper curve, and in between it runs in between them, bounded by these two curves. So you can see, right, I start running like this. Now then I deform it like this, then I deform it like this, I deform it like this, I end up here. One of the important point here is that these curves gamma delta, they are continuous curves, and this H is a continuous deformation, and by definition we can discuss on continuity only when we have a topology. So the M must be introduced with a topology theta M, and the interval 0 to 1 can be introduced with that standard topology R standard, theta R standard, restricted to 0, 1 interval. The restriction of the topology was discussed in the previous video. Now let's see. So now two curves if they are homotopic, that is, they can be continuously deformed to one another, and they are grouped together, that is, two curves are said to be equivalent if they are homotopic, and one can be continuously obtained by deforming the other. So now let's look at something called as loops. So the loop principle is that given a point gamma, so let's see, so given a point gamma, you can draw loops like this. I hope these are intuitively very much like loops. What does they mean is that you again parameterize the curve such that the initial point and the ending point is same, and gamma is continuous, again with respect to the topology here and here. So now loops can be, first of all, be homotopic. You see, you have this loop and you orient like this, orientation will matter, and you have this loop and you go around the loop like this. This loop can be brought by continuous deformation like this, and then you can do like this, and then you can do like this, and then this loop can be brought inside to these loops, provided you are traveling along the same direction, and hence are called one loop is homotopic to other if the loops are of this form. But if you take a loop like this and travel around it like that, but if you take a loop like this and then travel along it like that, from this point these both are loops, but this loop cannot be deformed to this loop. So these two are not homotopic, but this loop and this loop, if you travel like this, then they are homotopic, they can be deformed. Why is this so? Because you can think that the loops are separated by an epsilon distance, and you do like this, you do like this. Now you are running like this, and you can bring it closer and closer, and then you can run like that from one point to another, from here to here. But the next instant you have to run, you have to maintain the direction in which you were running. So that's the point of these loops. Now loops can of different types on a manifold, on a topological space M introduced by a topology and grouped together by proper identification forms a fundamental group. So this is again quite intuitive, because you see what I mean by concatenation and what I mean by, so I already explained what is called homotopic identification. Let's see one more, let's explain once more. So suppose this is S2, so S2, which is a sphere. Now you pick a point in S2 and then you make a loop over the sphere point. So you can travel like this, or you can also travel in the opposite direction, it doesn't matter actually. Then you will see that you can continuously always deform the loop to just to that point P, just this point. So if you have a point P, and if you have a curve that is the, so here in the definition of the loop, it always goes to a point in the manifold. If the curve always hits the point, same point P, the curve is the identity map. So, and the curve means that from 0 to 1 it will just sit here, that will be a curve. And if you have any other curve on sphere, any other loop on sphere, you can always deform it and bring it to the point 0, because the point is, but the same thing will not be possible in case of a circle. If you have a circle that is S1, and if you go like this, if you go around the circle like this, then the space inside here is not a part of the manifold M. A circle is S1 with this space not there. But a sphere is a two-dimensional manifold, if you think, and any curve can be properly deformed and brought back to that same point. Like if a curve wraps around the sphere like that, then you can just along the direction of the north pole, you can just bring it back to that point. But same thing is not possible for a circle. This thing has important applications in statistical physics, where you, based on the topological structure, you have something called as anions. So if you remember, there are fermions, there are bosons, which can be symmetrized, anti-symmetrized, but anions doesn't follow that, because they are smaller. The bosons, fermions are in R3, and hence you have a circle, you have a circular dependence of the position, and they can be symmetrized, anti-symmetrized, particularly because of the fact that the fundamental group is just identity on the circle S2. But in case of a on the sphere S2, but in case of a circle where the anions live, they live in 2 dimension, particles in 2 dimension, this thing is not possible. In fact, the point is the fundamental group denoted by pi s1 of circle is of this form, if you see. So if I go around clockwise around the circle, one time that is one loop. If I go 2 times, that is 2 loop. If I go 3 times, that is 3rd loop. If I go around anti-clockwise 1 time, that is a -1 loop. If I go around anti-clockwise 2 times, that is a -2 loop. If I go around if I concatenate 1 time looping 3 times, where concatenation is just transversing the loop by going around 2 loops at once, then I will reach 3. So what is concatenation is that, so given a point, suppose this is a running of a single loop, so I can form a new curve that goes around this loop 2 times within the same interval 0, 1, just by increasing the speed of the curve. So I can have a curve that goes around this loop 1 time, or I can have a curve that goes around this loop 2 times within the same interval. So concatenating these 2 curves means that I go around 3 times. So I hope that is clear. So just the point is, the collection of all loops possible are all possible integers, because of plus for the clockwise and minus for the anti-clockwise, and the concatenation is similar to adding 2 integers. It is like adding 2 loops to get a 3rd loop, and hence the fundamental group with the group action of concatenation is identical to the set of integers, along with the property of adding them. Under this map, and in fact set of integers along with the action of addition of 2 integers can also be brought to a group structure. I will discuss group structures. I am just trying to explain the important physics parts related to loops. So this thing is so Z, the set of integers equipped with addition, forms a group, and we have a fundamental group, and hence fundamental group of a circle is isomorphic to the set of all integers, where this is equipped with a group action of concatenation, and here I have a action of addition of integer. So let's leave it at that. Similarly, you can draw loops in cylinders and torus. The torus one will again be isomorphic to this Z. So anyway, so let's move on to the next topic. The topic is of topological manifold. So topology, if you had doubts in this, you can just go through this definition once more, but I just showed that even the fundamental group is important at many points in physics. So topological manifold. So if you have a topological space, it's called a d-dimensional manifold if this is a condition. For every point in that space, you can find an open set u belonging to theta m completely. This complete thing is called an open set, such that the point P, for every point P you can find such an open set that such that the point lies in it, such that this open set is homeomorphic. This is a new term. Actually it is not that new. Homeomorphic to a subset of the RD. So that means For every point belonging to the manifold, you can find an open set that consists of that point, such that you can find a function from that open set to a subset of Rd such that the function is continuous, and hence you need a topology on this space which can be induced by the topology on the M space. You need a topology on Rd, which is the standard topology, such that with respect to these topologies, the map is continuous, the inverse of map exists, and the inverse is also continuous. So what is homeomorphism? Homeomorphism preserves the open sets. So the preimage of open set here with a proper topology induced from the standard topology of Rd, the preimage of a open set here is a open set here, and the preimage of open set here is a open set here. Under the phi and phi inverse map, then this manifold, then it gives, if this happens for every point in the manifold, then we say that in every point in the topological space M, then we say that M is a manifold. So a quick example is that circle S1 is a one-dimensional manifold. Now why should that be is quite easy to see. I talked about the fact that you can make the circle into a topological space by properly putting the standard topology on it, which will just correspond to open sets like beads that I was drawing right now. Now if you have a circle, then you induce it with a topology, then you see, if you walk around the circle, you can see that you can locally say that the circle looks like a line, because this interval of a circle can be identified with an interval in R. Actually it can be identified with an interval between 0 1. So that's why this is called a manifold. So locally, if a surface, in other words, if a surface locally looks like a R dimensional space, then it is called a Rd manifold. Like while walking on a sphere, locally you will see that the sphere is just looking like a two-dimensional plane. That's why the sphere is a two-dimensional manifold. Now let's like locally working on a cylinder also looks like a two-dimensional plane. You can have a cylinder like this, and if you walk around here you will see that it's just like a plane. So that's just the intuitive notion. And now let's quickly, this is a famous example. This object here is not a manifold, which is quite obvious, because if you take this point and around this point you can find small interval. So this object is a part of this plane where I have drawn it, and then I intersect it at many parts using the open patches that belongs to the standard topology of R2, and that gives me open intervals here that belongs to the topology of this region. And this, with respect to this topology, you see that there are two possible intervals that consist of the same point, and both of the interval can be mapped to a same interval in R. This prevents it from being a manifold because of this particular intersection here, and this is called this intersection, and hence this is not a manifold because it violates particularly the fact that the bijection, there is no 1 1 1 2 map here. So that's all for this video. I hope this was clear.